Alright, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat petang semua. Selamat petang semua. Alright, good. Nice crowd. How many of you here are non-Bumiputras? Okay, I just need to know because kalau tak, I switch to Malay fully. But because of some of the audience are basically not can't basically converse in Malay, so I will switch. I will converse in both lah, Malay and English. Okay, good crowd today. Thank you very much MaGIC for having me today. A bit of an intro. So siapa lah orang ni kan kat depan ni kan. Alright. Nama diberi Yusno, Muhammad Yusno bin Muhammad Yunus. I think the MC has explained a bit about my background, even though not fully. Sorry, before that. That is the term that I coined myself, collaboration. Okay, I tried to Google that, tak ada lagi. Okay, so I should submit a trademark on that. It's a growing via collaboration or growing by collaborating. Okay, that's a topic that I'm gonna share with you for the next half an hour. Okay, a little bit about myself. Oh, dia tak dekat depan slides. Okay. I'm very passionate about building apps. Okay. So, all this while, after I graduated in 2003, I've been involved in mobile and web application in various languages lah. So, how many of you here are developers? Come on, techies. Oh, tak ramai. Developers. Okay. The rest of you apa? Non-developers lah. Okay, always, normally the ratio will always be non-developers lagi banyak daripada developers. It can be in this kind of event, it can be in hackathons, it's the same. Okay, but it's a good thing to be a developer because I can build my business by developing my own app lah. Okay, that's an advantage of being a developer. Okay, I found out about an opportunity in events when I started back in 2010, 2010. So masa tu adalah lagi a bit of some of the grants left from MDEC. So we started with MDEC grant, and now it's already almost 4 years, going to 5 years. We consider ourselves the expert in providing solutions in the events industry. So anything related to events, if it involves technologies, mobile, webs and everything, you can come to us. And in 3 sentences, what we basically do is we are innovating the event practices. Okay, so how many of you here are event organizers? Ada tak? Just nak tahu. Yang betul-betul hardcore buat events. Siang, malam, pagi, petang, tiap-tiap hari, tiap-tiap minggu buat event je. Tak ada lah kot kan? Most probably once a week dan sebagainya. So, I'm not saying that I'm better than you. It's just that I understand the industry and how we could actually add value to your event using technologies. Okay, and we are very passionate. We are basically tech evangelists developing world-class mobile apps, and nanti I can share a bit about the apps before I actually touch about collaboration. Yang tu is basically our team. We are based in Technology Park Malaysia. Any TPM incubators tak kat sini? Ui, tak ada. Semua from Cyberjaya, MaGIC, I guess. Okay. So we've been in TPM for the past 3 years. We have about roughly 15 team members. Kita split half-half lah. Half of us are basically techies, developers. The other half is basically involved in marketing and sales. This is the recent basically success that we've had by being basically listed in the top 10 of most innovative ICT companies in Malaysia lah still. Okay. Okay. Ada 2 products here so far we have developed. Maybe you have not heard about Evenesis, but it has been around for about roughly 3 years. It's a cloud-based event management system. We cover pre, on the day, and post. Whatever that you need to do, from database, from planning, checklist, registration, floor plan design, it can be booth, etc. So everything is in the system. It's a cloud-based app. So we've been doing this for the past 3 years. And this is basically our mission statement lah. Okay, we are revolutionizing the industry by giving you something different. So bila orang datang your event, it will be much more, better experience, more efficiency, okay, in terms of managing the database, etc. Okay, I do not want to bore you with that. This is basically how the app looks like. This is our recent product that we have launched, I think about 4 weeks ago, together with Berjaya University College of Hospitality, which I'm going to talk a bit about that later on, in terms of how we collaborated with them. This time, this one is the first in Malaysia. Okay, we are the first venue portal that provide those services. We are not looking at hotels and convention centers, because I know hotels and convention centers, their occupancy rate is almost, I would say, 90% to 100%. Okay, but we are trying to help those unique and boutique venues. So katakan you ada training room, ada empty space dekat depan rumah you ke, you want to rent out that one for people to do events at your place. This is where you go. Okay, so we have launched this, I think about 4 weeks ago. This is basically the USP lah. Okay, so when you are pitching, this is basically how we tell our clients, our investors, that this app can help you to do this. Alright. This is how it looks like. So you can go to venueville.asia. That is basically our website. Now, I think kebanyakan daripada you all nak dengar pasal, what's the word in Malay tadi? Collaboration? Kerjasama. Kalau apa yang kartun tiap-tiap petang tu, apa yang kita ada, kerjasama kan. I tak ingat sebab my daughter always watch that. What do you guys think when you hear about collaboration? Win-win, okay, that's a must kan. Tak ada siapa nak buat collaboration win-lose, lose-win or lose-lose, betul? Kita nak win-win. What else? I'm sorry? We don't get eaten up, correct? Apa lagi? Apa berjemaah? Oh, I'm sorry? Berjemaah, okay, buat sama-sama lah. Okay, tak ada buat seorang-seorang, good. What else? Bio. Okay, that's a good point, because a lot of time when I talk about collaboration, dia orang ingat kerjasama ni is all free. Kan? Dengar, okay, jom collaborate lah. I tak payah keluar sen pun, you tak payah keluar sen pun. Collaboration does not mean free. Sometimes collaboration has a fee lah. Okay? Anybody else want to share collaboration, ataupun you pernah buat collaboration with some other parties? Synergy, yeah. That's even a better word actually. Synergizing, Okay. Kita cerita-cerita dulu sebelum masuk topik yang okay. I'm going to show you 2 of the most recent events that I attended last week. This was the first one. Okay? We didn't organize this. The organizer is Sarawak Convention Bureau. So, siapa tahu apa Sarawak Convention Bureau buat? First time dengar Sarawak Convention Bureau? Ada orang Sarawak tak sini? Sarawakian? Oh, semua orang sini. Okay. Sarawak Convention Bureau, what they do is they bring events, especially big events to Sarawak lah. That's their job. Okay? So they organize this event dekat Bird Park, KL Bird Park. Siapa pernah pergi KL Bird Park? Best kan? KL Bird Park? I've been there twice this year. Sekali bawa anak, sekali pergi dengan dia orang lah, which is last Friday. Now, the highlight of the event is this. This is Wallace, which is their mascot. So apa dia buat? Dia buatlah Wallace, instead of birthday, they call it birthday party in Sarawak, in KL Bird Park. Okay? So, now look at dekat bawah ni sebenarnya is the event partners lah. They have Discovery Overland Holidays, Event Horizon dengan Borneo Soap dekat situ. Biasa tengok tak, kalau di event, whenever there is an event, dekat bawah tu mesti ada sponsor. Mesti ada event partners. Kan? Do you guys know how to get there? To get to that partners, event partners, collaboration with. Do you guys know how to get there? Especially those yang I dengar tadi banyak yang dapat superb kat sini kan? And most of you are at the what? I tak tahu, startup stage maybe? Right? Okay, so this is how we're going to do. I'm going to basically walk you through some of the experiences that we've had with the big brands. Sebab this is something that I learned actually last week juga. Sebenarnya kita dah buat benda ni all the way, tapi kita tak perasan je. Bila you nak partner ataupun you nak collaborate dengan seseorang, make sure the one that you collaborate with tu has a bigger power than you, ataupun has a bigger branding, better branding, more recognizable than you, betul tak? Kan? I think a lot of people say that. Okay, so that's what I'm going to show you after this. Next one is this. I participated in this run on Saturday. Siapa lari? Siapa ada dekat MaGIC on Saturday? Oh God, tak ada seorang pun join. You guys are into zombie, right? How many of you are into zombies? Come on, Walking Dead fans. Oh, Walking Dead fans, apa lagi? World War Z, so many more zombie movies kan? Kalau you all fan tu, you all should have joined this event. Okay? It was a full day event, so you had the zombies chasing the survivors lah. So you can either participate as zombies, they will dress you up, they will basically make you up lah as a zombie, and then basically chase the survivors. Now look at this. This is the first time they have done it in Malaysia. They have done it in Singapore, they have done it in UK, etc. Tapi ini first time dia buat kat Malaysia. Look at the supporting partners, crazy, kan? Not just Hotlink, Red FM, you have Brooks, you have Uber, even My Taxi, Zalora, they are all there. Even SACE and Sports Toto. And so all the big brands wanted to collaborate for this event. Okay, do you wish that your brand are there? Best kan? Next time insyaAllah kan? Okay, this is just some of the samples of the events that I personally participated for the past 1 week. Now, going back to our experience for the past 4 years, ini some of the brands that Evenesis or Malaysian Berhad have basically collaborated with lah. I'm not going to share semua stories sebab I know time is very limited. I'm going to pick some of the best ones yang maybe hopefully can inspire some of the startup here yang baru nak start, baru nak develop, baru nak commercialize. I'm going to talk a bit about what we did with Microsoft. I'm going to talk a bit about what we did with IBM, Berjaya over there, maybe Telecom with Biz App Store, a bit on Singtel, and maybe Hoo-Ha as well, depending on the time that we have. Okay, and then after that, we're going to basically take questions and answer session lah. Okay. Now, bila kita start developing the apps back in 2010, and then we launched Evenesis in 2011, the first major decision that we made is which technology to use. Betul tak? Normally you have business ideas, all of you with CTOs, a lot of things are basically being sort of like discussed, negotiated with, right? Siapa dekat sini are using PHP as their back-end? PHP, Ruby on Rails ada? Kejap, korang ni dah buat app ke belum lagi? Oh belum, okay. Tak apa, tak ada masalah. When you come to that stage, okay, take this into consideration. Okay, because it's good if you are using a technology that has a lot of apa orang kata marketing power behind it. Okay, for example, Amazon, IBM, Microsoft. Okay, so when we decided to go with Microsoft back in 2011, they have this program that we have to go in for 1 year. And whether you realize it or not, we are one of the first 3 companies in Malaysia that writes on Microsoft Windows Azure platform. That was back in 2011. Sekarang ni I rasa dah ramai lah orang on Windows Azure. Windows Azure is a cloud platform. Okay, so what did we get or what did we gain from that experience? Okay, this is one of them. 3 companies from Malaysia are basically being selected to attend to this event. I'm not selling Microsoft, I'm selling basically what we get out of this experience. Okay, so they flew us to Toronto for this worldwide partner conference. Do you know how big is the event? By the look of this table, ni masa makan lah, tunjuk masa makannya kan. Ni masa dia punya dining time. Estimate how many people actually attended the event? Berapa? Too low. 10, lagi sikit lagi. About 20k. Okay, about 20,000. So imagine the whole town of Toronto are basically being geared for that 20,000 people. From the buses, from the trains, taxis, to get people to this venue. Huge. Okay, dia orang makan tu, I think about, kalau 20,000, you must have about 2,000 tables to be served. Okay, that's a different story. But as a Malaysian participants, we were basically being brought by Microsoft to be there. And guess what? They get us in a room with the top executives from Microsoft, with the exception of Masa tu Steve Ballmer lah. So we get the VP level until the assistant VP to be in the room to talk to these 3 Malaysian companies and tell them, what do you want us to do for you? Okay? So but at that point in time, cloud subscription is still very low, especially in Malaysia, from Microsoft. So we were there, we were discussing, they were telling us that, no worries, we can give you a lot of our support. And guess what? When we came back, they got us to use their facilities. Siapa pernah pergi Microsoft punya office? In KLCC, KLCC 3, okay? So we get to use their place to run our events. So basically kita buat kita punya marketing event, we bring people basically to that center at no cost. Okay, so these are the things that you need to consider lah when you are actually choosing technologies. I'm not saying that the other technologies are not good. There are different perks, okay? And the other example that I would like to give is the IBM. IBM is more recent. How many of you have heard about IBM soft layer? Soft layer guys, ada? Tak ada? Seorang je. Okay. Do you guys know what is a soft layer? Okay, kalau tak pernah dengar, do you know what is a WhatsApp? WhatsApp, orang panggil WhatsApp. Semua orang guna WhatsApp, WhatsApp. Do you know where does your data on that WhatsApp being stored at? Where? In the cloud, kan? In the cloud, and of course, some are stored in your phone. But where exactly in the cloud? The answer is in soft layer clouds. Okay, semua orang tak tahu. Ada yang tahu, ada yang tak tahu. But that's the reality. WhatsApp is using soft layer from IBM to basically store their data. Okay, and this is the story of how we get into soft layer. This year, soft layer just launched their basically cloud program in Malaysia. And I was basically being introduced to soft layer in 2013, last year. Okay, and how do I get to know about this program? From my friend in Hong Kong. Okay, so sometimes when you are looking at collaboration, you have to go beyond Malaysia as well. Look at your friends, look at some of your contacts outside of Malaysia. Okay, so I traveled to Hong Kong. I met up with this guy who is actually the regional manager of soft layer in Hong Kong. And then I told him that, hey, we have a good product and we are currently on Microsoft. Oh, really? You should try soft layer. Okay, what would you give us? Okay, if we switch to soft layer. So they kata lah, we give you 1 year sort of like free tools, free cloud storage for 12 months with a minimum of $1,000 per month, those kind of things. So I think it was very attractive. We signed up, and guess what? When we launched our second product, which is Venueville tadi tu, okay, it was currently running on soft layer, okay, stored in Hong Kong, the data. And we get sort of like a good publicity from IBM themselves. So they invited us on stage when they launched soft layer, because soft layer was launched this year, and we were actually the first Malaysian product to be on soft layer. Okay, so try to look for this kind of opportunities with big technology companies lah. Okay, especially when you are on cloud. I believe you should be on the cloud, kan? Especially all of the startups right now, kan? Takkan you nak still buat on your server dekat dalam bilik office kot? Tak kan? Okay, so look out for these opportunities. Okay, Aziz senyum tengok ni. Remember Aziz? This was back in I think 2012. Wow, it's been 2 years already. We all know who TM is, kan? Telekom Malaysia. Okay, so yes, when you are starting up, you need to sell, kan? You need to build a product and you need to sell. When you need to sell, you need salesperson, betul? Right? Unless you are a superman, superwoman lah, kan? You can do everything. Okay, so when you need salesperson, you need a big arm to push out your product to the market, betul? Okay? Kalau tak betul, geleng. Okay, sebab I tengok ramai dah geleng lah ni. I tak tahu sama ada this one is relevant to you ke tak kan? Tak apa. Now, guess what? After 1 year discussing, talking with Telekom Malaysia via an association called TEAM, Technopreneur Association of Malaysia, we managed to be part of their Biz App Store. Imagine you ada Google Google Play, Apple App Store kan. So Telekom pun dia nak buat dia punya App Store juga. Dia kata siapa-siapa ada cloud-based app, letak dalam tu, we will help market your product to our existing clients yang masa tu dia kata ada roughly about 500,000 SMEs lah. Again, depending on who your target markets are. Okay, so we ride on their marketing team lah. Instead of of course lah, TM ada berapa banyak kan salesperson kan. Takkan I nak hire 20-30 orang untuk buat whatever that they're doing right now. So try to look for this opportunity as well with other telcos. Right now, I believe there are a lot. I think we did the same with Singtel. Singtel Innovate. I'm pretty sure after this there will be someone from Axiata as well going to talk about the new fund. And then we also had the same arrangement with the Philippines. They have the Globe over there. So look for these big global telcos who are actually trying to push out cloud-based apps. Okay. Yeah, this is how basically we are being positioned in Biz App Store. Apa lagi? Okay. Okay, we on track. Now, remember tadi I cerita pasal how we launch a product kan by collaboration. Siapa yang idea kat sini mesti nak launch product, betul? Kalau boleh, how do you want to launch your product? Is it a soft launch or a real product launch where you get all media with you, you get all people in a big hall to actually say, yes, my product is now ready for you to use. Which one you prefer? Senyap-senyap ke bising? With a big hoo-ha lah orang kata, right? Okay? When we started, okay, I was not basically being shared about this experience lah. So when we started Evenesis, we didn't do any kind of product launch. Kita senyap-senyap je lah. After that, kita launch, kita cerita kat Facebook, hey guys, dah boleh guna, nak guna tak? Okay, send an email to us, I will give you a trial account, those kind of things. Okay? But for our second product, this is what we learned. Look for agencies, look for people out there who are willing to work with you to launch your product. It has to be win-win tadi kan? Okay. So we are quite lucky in a way that we are in the events industry. So we talk to a lot of universities, especially universities that are producing event students. Okay? So depending again on whatever that you are doing lah. Macam kita orang, we talk a lot with College of Hospitality, students that actually studying event management. Okay, ada banyak UiTM, we have a lot lah. So we talk to Berjaya UCH, and then they have agreed to get 6 or 7 of their students to help us launch the product. So imagine now, I have an additional 6 to 7 bodies to actually help me run the product launching for me. Dia bagi ni sebab dia nak buat dia punya, basically, this is basically part of dia punya curriculum lah. Okay? So I get them to basically organize this for roughly 2 to 3 weeks. And guess what? By having Berjaya brand with you, we got to attract roughly 9 to 10 major media to come to that event. We're talking about Berita Harian, we're talking about The Age, we're talking about RTM, we're talking about TV3. Kan? I don't know lah how many of you here from media kan? Do you know how hard is it to get media to come to your event? Susah kan? Normally media akan datang bila ada menteri, VVIP. And guess what? For this particular event, tak ada satu menteri pun. We didn't invite any VVIPs. Our VVIPs are basically those who have helped us along the way. So we invited Cradle and we invited TPM to launch the product with us. Okay, so this is what we did. Talking about media, right? The day after we launched the product, imagine all of these 6-7 major medias basically covered us. So imagine the publicity. Of course, these are basically the Malay media lah. Okay, so you could get this kind of publicity if you plan your product launching well. And last but not least is this. On the left is basically all of those, the VC and the head of event from UCH. this is basically the VVIPs lah. You guys know Nazrin, you guys know Azrai from TPM. So those are basically the VVIPs. Itu je. Okay, not a single menteri lah to say. Okay, so you guys can do that as well if you're looking at launching a product with a minimal cost. Okay, because you are a startup, you know that cash is always an issue, betul? Kan? Kenapa you nak buat a big one, ambil dekat PICC, kan? Buat lunch for 200, 300 people, it's not cheap. Okay, so you have to plan by collaborating with the right partners. Okay? One of my last slides. Do you guys know this person? I selalu cerita, I promote dia ni kan, bestol lah. This is basically our good friend lah, Mr. Anand. He's an orange man, for those of you who are into football, kan, yang minat Liverpool dan sebagainya. We work with him in marathons. Okay, he organizes a lot of marathons in Asia. So he has been doing this for the past 10 years. It's a family business. So previously everything was basically manual. So we come in, we help automate, we help basically change the way they do things. Okay, by riding on this brand, we are basically being known in the marathons industry. Okay, so this is one of the ways how we're tackling different sides of the events. Okay, let me see if I've missed out on anything else. The rest tu tak apalah. I think when we get to know each other nanti, you can ask me a lot more questions on this. Okay, one last slide. This is very important juga, especially when you're a startup, when you're building something with less cash. Have you heard about X deal? Kontra pernah dengar tak kontra? Okay. Okay, the word X deal is actually coming from exchange deal. It is very popular in Philippines. Trust me. You pergi Philippines je, a lot of the businesses out there, they will say, let's do an X deal. It's a contra-based engagement, where it is a win-win lah. For example lah, I give you, let's say you want to do a promotion with Coca-Cola for your event. Kan, you kata, okay, I have a blog, okay, I can put Coca-Cola branding over there. In return, you give me berapa? 20, 30 crates of Coke. It's a barter system lah, without actual cash going out. It saves you on tax, and then it saves you on mainly time juga lah in a way. Okay, so look out for this. When we started at the very beginning, we really utilize a lot of these contra deals ataupun X deals. Okay, but after a while you've got to watch out a bit lah, sebab then semua orang nak buat kontra dengan you kan, nanti duit tak masuk langsung, nanti you don't have any revenue, then how are you going to grow, right? Okay, so this is one of the ways to collaborate as well. Ada lagi tak? Okay, yep, basically that's my time, about 35 to 40 minutes. Ada soalan tak?
How do you value the contra deal?
This is the beauty of contra deal. It's very hard to do valuation, betul? So normally you will gain the upper hand by proposing the contra deal lah. So for example, let's say you kata this advertising space, kan, is worth, depending on how much you're selling the advertising space lah. Maybe, I don't know, 5,000 ringgit per day. Kan? So you're looking at 5,000 ringgit of Coke lah to be given to you. Okay, and then it's just about basically pricing your product accordingly to match whatever contra that you are doing with your collaborators. To me, don't think yourself. Okay, the way I would approach that subject is that be proud of what you have, especially when you already have a product lah. Normally kalau you tak ada product, it's a bit tough. But make sure you have produced a product. Make sure the value is there. Okay, then basically just identify the right partner, and then either you try to get yourself by being introduced to a certain person, or worst case is cold email, cold letter, cold call, those kind of things. We did that. I've heard about stories from Do you know Skybus? Skybus Asia. If you have heard how that owner of Skybus actually get the deal to transport all of the Asia passengers to and fro kan, KLIA to KL Central kan. Skybus actually pun started very small, okay, but they managed to just approach, hey Mr. Tony Fernandez, those kind of things. I've heard few other stories juga lah, okay, but yeah, we did that as well. Send out, approach these people, but make sure the value that you are giving them is there lah. Dia bukan orang kata apa, cakap kosong je lah. Okay, that's how I would approach it.
How do you make money through Evenesis? Because you say Evenesis is a portal for event, right? So basically, when people want to market their place at Evenesis, do they need to pay like subscription, or I mean, how do you generate money through the portal?
Good question. Currently, it is free, so we are not generating any kind of revenue from the portal. But rest assured, in 2015, we will charge basically the owners, the venue owners, not the users, okay, which is the event organizers. I mean, we have seen this being implemented in Singapore, in US, where the app provider like us, they are taking a percentage of the booking lah. But it's very tough lah in this part of the world to monitor that, because you know there will always be deals happening behind you kan. So rather than that, we are looking at charging the venue owners lah. It could be a subscription, but we will only basically share on the business model in 2015.
So before you started on the idea of a venue portal, you do like a research, or I mean, how assured that you know that it's going to be a big thing in terms of, and I mean, you said just now this is the first one in Malaysia,
right?
And do you copy from the national website that you do it here, or basically you just come up?
A good question. Let me try to remember how we started it. I think we have this idea of a platform for event stakeholders. Okay, that is basically our vision. We want to be the event platform. It's like Microsoft, like kan? Microsoft started with an OS, and then around it they build the security, the whatever it is behind it kan. So kita started with event platform for event organizers. Then we have event for participants, and we have event for suppliers. And then suppliers ni kita pecahkan lagi. What are the suppliers? So venue owners is one of the suppliers. So that was the original idea lah. But last year when we started, we got the idea to pursue this, is when we ourselves were facing problems to find a place to do a small team meeting outside of office. Okay, how many of you had a problem? For example, let's say suddenly you nak buat a small retreat for 10 to 20 people kan, in Klang Valley, and you do not want to do it in hotels, because hotels punya price is basically dekat atas. And how many of you here can tell me there are good and unique meeting places in Klang Valley that you can use for 400 ringgit per day? 400 ringgit per day. Tak tahu. Exactly. And if I tell you, you can find even as low as 350 to 450 per day, I believe a lot of you would be basically utilizing those spaces. So we had this idea. We talked to a few, as usual lah, survey punya time kan. We talked to people in terms of the need, talked to a lot of training providers, etc. And it seems the needs are there, but the challenge is about monetizing it lah. Monetizing that app. So
last question.
Yep.
How do you make people come to you? I mean, okay, basically you create an app as a venue portal, and what is the step that you do to make people to come to you to market their place at your app?
Okay, now you are asking about the marketing side of it lah, kan? Because once you have an app, how do you push it out? Of course, two ways lah. We have our own standard, normal way of traditional and online marketing. That's a standard. But now we're talking about collaboration kan? So it's about collaborating with the right partners. So who else out there that are actually doing events? We have associations, and we have this bureau. Kita ada MySEP, Malaysia Convention Exhibition Bureau. So these are the two partners that we are working closely with in terms of pushing the product out. So we're trying to get them to actually sell it for us lah in a way. And we are also currently working with another yayasan to get and tap government venues. This is something new. A lot of us do not know that a lot of venues out there are government owned and you can actually use even if you're not a government civil servant. Banyak dekat Putrajaya dan sebagainya. You can actually use those venues even though you're not a government civil servant. So we are going to tap on that as well. Okay, welcome.
Let's say that we are using the venue field and we are putting our training center there. How to market our training center? How to find customer that come?
Oh yeah, definitely. Good question. So she's asking whether Venueville will help the venue owners to get more customers. That's the purpose of Venueville lah. Okay, look at it this way. We started with Evenesis. So who are using Evenesis? Event organizers, right? So we have a pool of event organizers that now we can push to Venueville to find new places. Okay, so rest assured, Venueville kita dah optimize. So SEO, so easily you can find Google. But if you're not even coming from Google, you have Facebook, you have social media to basically direct you to that channel. And we also have our existing pool of event organizers from Asia Pacific area to get to know about you. Especially if you are within the radius lah. If you're doing, for example, event kat Bangi kan, if you're in Bangi, we suggest you lah. These are the venues that are relevant to your budget, relevant to your area. Wah, ramai orang suka Venueville. Good. Evenesis tak free bang, tak free. We used to give that freemium model lah. That was way back in 2011. Yes, it's a subscription based either per event or we go on a yearly subscription. We have that. After this, we can discuss more about the utilizing Evenesis. Yes. Good question. I should get the MaGIC guys to answer now. I'm just kidding. Batuk saya. You guys know Eventbrite? Good. Eventbrite is good. I mean, they've been around for 6-7 years. They are US based, kena stress. Yeah, US based, So we are different in the sense that when we started, we get a lot of these questions from investor, from when we pitch kan. Apa beza you all ni dengan Eventbrite? Eventbrite purely registration, ticketing. Okay, you're talking about event, you want to do registration. If you want to do other things then, other than registration, you go to us. You want to customize your form, you want to manage your database, CRM like, you want to do planning, checklist, floor plan, those kind of things, survey after the event. Okay, so one of the module is basically macam Eventbrite lah. But we have other things as well. So in a way, we're trying to build a complete platform for the event organizer. And yang lagi bestnya is the Malaysian base lah. So you get response immediately. Tak percaya, tanya MaGIC. Soalan lain, I still have about 2 to 3 minutes. I can take one last question maybe. Yes. Thank you.
So I think moving to use
Yes, spot on.
this one. When you talked about looking for a new account, it's not easy to get, especially a shop. So sometimes there is a location nearby, flagship apps.
Yep, spot on. So the gentleman was asking about the similarity within Agoda kan. Mesti by now pun you dah fikir kan, alamak Agoda dah buat lah Airbnb, another one, right? We have booking.com, those kind of things. True, but they are for rooms lah, hotel rooms So now we are taking that model, something like that, to venues. We are going to put in reviews and ratings as well. But of course, the game of venue ni is a bit different lah than the game of rooms. Okay, sebab rooms, one big hotel, they have so many rooms. Venue sikit je. Okay, so they might be averse to in terms of reviews and ratings. We are still testing that one out. And the other suggestions that you have is to location based. Yes. So the next release that we're going to do, which is in Q1, we're going to have this what we call latest deals. Imagine Groupon, Groupon for venues lah. Okay, so right now the issue with venue owners is this. Let's say you have a room that has been booked. Okay, so 50% of the deposit has been paid. Okay, and then suddenly 1 week before the event, you cancelled the booking. So what will happen is that you will lose your deposit. But that 50% lagi tu you cannot extract. And then within 1 week, what's going to happen with your room? Habis lah. Kan, who's going to basically book your room? In a way, kan? So now you create a special deal inside Venueville. And we flash it lah, we cakap, flash it to the right event organizer, say that, yeah, you can get this room for half a price. A venue lah, not room, So that's basically how we're going to improve it in Q1 of 2015. Okay? Alright, kalau tak ada soalan lagi, last one. Okay, I thank you again very much for your time, patience, your alertness. Even though dah petang ni kan, petang ni dah turun sikit mood kan, maybe ada makan ke lepas ni, tak tahu. Thank you MaGIC. I can be reached at that. You search Yusno, you akan jumpa first one in Facebook, first one in LinkedIn, first one in Twitter, first one in IG, whatever social media lah. Because I guess because of my name kot. Search for Yusno, so you know how to reach me. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.